I couldn't help myself. I had to do a video on this. There's a video on TikTok just popped up in my view page. It is a stitch. It is about someone else's opinion after, but yeah, it's just an American going on a rant. Now, my issue with Americans, it really stems from the uneducated ones, the ones that are just very incredible loudmouths. If you look at the way or listen to the way I'm talking, I'm very controlled. I'm very on point, very articulated. So I present, and I present well, and I'm able to communicate exactly what I want to say. Very controlled, and I don't have to be overbearing. Don't have to dominate a room to get my message across. Now, listen to the alternative here, and ask: would I want to be like that? I don't think so. I'd say some of us evolve beyond this bashful talking.
No, let's talk about the real reason they prioritize American content. Number one, y'all always in our fucking business. Y'all want to be like us. Come on.
Don't want to be like you at all. Let's be honest. Yeah, the conversation's been that since the TikTok ban in America, a lot of us started getting content from around the world, and it was interesting. And then people started to notice that, wait a minute, why is it American content creators get more airtime? And you start to think, wait a minute, a lot of the content I get on TikTok is American. So they do actually get priority. That's not fair. So it's not a level playing field at all across the whole spectrum of this. But yeah, I don't want to keep interrupting, but I thought I'd just share that little part there, really. But she's got a real mouth on her, this one.
Come on, let's call a fucking spade a spade. Number four, y'all bite off our shit. Y'all just fucking little mini sons of us. And yeah,
First of all, the one thing I've noticed in there is the level of cussing. Now, I can swear as well, and I have moments when I will do, but I can articulate what I want to say without the need to. She can't seem to put a sentence together without getting emotional. Very high maintenance by the sound of things. And saying that we're mini versions of them. Again, I don't want to go too far into this, but America is a very young country. There's a lot of culture throughout the rest of the world, especially Europe, even Asia. There's this culture, and Americans, unfortunately, again, not all Americans, but sadly in this case, you would argue they're acting like teenagers in terms of their evolution. So they're very highly strung, very theatrical, very in your face, trying to be the bully in the playground, thinking, I want what you got. I can tell you right now, I do not. I do not. I would. Being around someone like this would absolutely drain the living shit out of me. I would be getting as far away from this person as I can. So being mini versions of them, I really don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so at all.
I'ma say it. Yeah, I'ma start some shit. I don't care. Because y'all some fucking haters. Y'all some fucking American xenophobic haters.
Imagine going on.
What I would say is she articulated that incredible, didn't she? She really went into detail and explained precisely what her issues were. This is the trouble: is they're not as intelligent. It's not everybody in this individual's case. They're not as intelligent as they think they are. They're just coming up with just sound bites, being loud, being aggressive, swearing, and they feel they're getting a point across. But to anyone with intelligence can just see straight through them. It's like, this is crazy. You are a nut job, an absolute nut job. This guy's articulate.
On a tangent while you prove exactly our point. Main character syndrome is real, and some of you suffer a lot from it. And it's not rocket science that America as a country has heavily politicized themselves on the rest of the world because they are inherently imperialistic. You would know this, but you choose not to. But instead you go on this tangent about how we hate Americans, we hate you guys, we want to be you, we want what you. We don't want any of that. Look at the state of the United States of America and look who's leading your country. We don't want that. You can keep that.
None.
It's really crazy, isn't it? I've seen it for such a long time where Americans, they naturally do. Because they see a lot of immigrants, they're trying to get in from poorer nations, they're trying to influx into America. And obviously you see it with other people, even if they're from a decent, like a wealthy country, should we say. They see the land of opportunity, but really they're just looking to be actors or something. the idea then is that everybody's trying to infiltrate America, but the rest, they don't realize that a lot of us are actually happy on our space of the world. We don't see anything of interest. Yeah, I'm not impressed by any of it. I've been seeing the downfall for a long time, well ahead of time. I think it's just starting to become more mainstream now, more in the spotlight, but it's been happening for a long time. America's been in decline for decades. It's crazy. It's just there's nothing in America that's there to sort of invest in people's futures. There's nothing of this. There's none of that at all. It's all drain, 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 drain. And then internal bickering and fighting, boosting egos, so everyone gets inflated opinion of themselves. Then there's this attitude that as a nation they're the best in the world, so it inflates the ego even further. And then they feel like the world looks up to them, we're inspired by them. It's like we're really not. We create content to try to shine a light on it, so people just start to behave more like human beings. You know, me talking on this isn't me trying to be like, I am anti-America. I just want America to heal and be as great as they should be. You know, it's just, but you have to have a reality check in the process. And if we all just sort of pander to them and keep going, yeah, well, good for you, but we can see there's an issue, I mean, it's best we talk about it. I mean, I've done enough videos. I'm not going to go into the whole detail here. I'm not going to do every video I do. You only have to look at my previous video to see the depth of what I'm talking about in America. But this person here is Delali. If they think we're if they think we would looking to replace, there's no chance in hell. I'd much rather live a simple life, a very modest life in the UK, than a privileged life in the USA. You know, it's just a far more balanced life here. And I'm not saying the UK is the best country in the world, best country in the world, like England. I'm sure there's other places in Europe. But yeah, I don't think at this point in time America is a particularly great nation, and that's just how I personally feel. I think one of the issues with America that's incredible that I watch on are horrific. I'm not horrified every time. Every time. This is why America is not progressing. They're regressing all the time. Everything's backwards, backwards, backwards. And it's obvious to me, but I don't know if Americans are noticing it. You get a new president take over, and all they do is execute orders to undermine the previous leadership. So any progress that was established under a previous president, for the most part, because of the ego of the new incoming president, they just cancel everything. So what do? They spend 4 years enacting their own policies, saying, this is how we're going to build it. The next president comes in and says, that's crap. We're going to do it this way. Then you start trying to implement a new change. Then what happens? The next one comes in and says, no, that's crap. Let's start again. So you only ever get 4 years of change. 4 years of growth, and then it gets recycled, reset. How can it establish? How can it evolution when it just completely keeps stopping and starting? There must be some rule. There must be some law that gets put in place to stop this from happening, because it seems to be like go time for a president to just enact whatever they want. There's no. Where's the growth? It doesn't make sense. There is no evolution in the USA, unfortunately. It just continuously going round a merry-go-round of chaos. So, like I say, some of us are shining a light on it, really, just for educational purposes, really, just to really educate people on some of the flaws and things that need to maybe shine a light on to change. But for the most part, we're okay on our own side of the pond. You know, we're just continue doing what we're doing. You know, I'm not going to always talk about America. It's just poignant at the moment. It's of interest to me. I'm sort of looking on. You know, I think the TikTok ban just emphasised things a bit further. And I think the wildfires in California just shone an incredible spotlight on the corruption. So this TikTok ban, and it's been a real big thing in America right now. You had the TikTok ban, which was incredibly political, but corrupt. Then you've got these wildfires in California that seem to be, if we're going to go on a conspiracy side, it almost like it's covering up the networks really linked to P. Diddy, potentially. Not saying it is, potentially. And then you've got corrupt governors who are not funding like water reservoirs, so much of water's travelling down from the north, and it's just going into the sea rather than reservoirs where the hydrants could work, and you could have saved a lot of the homes. Why was that not in place? So there's a lot of problems stemming from it. And then all of a sudden you get Trump's inauguration, where he's coming up with an incredible amount of policies with he's using executive orders to implement, and you're like, that one's crazy, that one's crazy, that one's crazy. Your freedom and freedom. Americans' freedoms are getting demolished, and people don't even realize they're actually cheering. And I'm thinking, you're actually crazy. That's mad. And then Biden's having to pardon all of his family because he knows that Trump's going to be vengeful and come after his family. So he had to pardon them all. I mean, what is this? This is absolutely outrageous. Again, this is crazy. Every time a new president comes in, it's all this chaos. So it'll be 4 years of madness, and then it'll be reset again in 4 years. Where's the growth? Where's the part where any of us would be jealous? I don't know. What? I think that's the thing to go ask yourself. Why would we? What we got jealous? What would we got to be jealous of? I see no reason to be jealous at this point of America. They position themselves in a very, very uncomfortable position at the moment, where they're isolating themselves from the world because their egos are really, really outgrowing their status. I just think it's getting a bit crazy now. It's gonna be wild because when Trump's challenged, he gets a bit more. He ups the rhetoric, doesn't he? So it's gonna be interesting when people sort of go shoulder to shoulder with him. Because I think what it is, he perceives America as this most powerful nation and everybody else is weak. But I think he's going to find a lot of countries that are strong, especially when they're united. So that's interesting. But let's just listen into this. Best let people speak. Let's listen to her one more time. See how articulated she makes her opinions.
No. Let's talk about the real reason they prioritize American content. Number one, y'all always in our fucking business. Y'all want to be like us. Come on, let's call a fucking spade a spade. Number four, y'all bite off our shit. Y'all just fucking little mini sons of us. And yeah, I'ma say it. Yeah, I'ma start some shit. I don't care. Because y'all some fucking haters. Y'all some fucking American xenophobic haters.
Imagine going
She'd hold up well in a debate, wouldn't she? If you was having a debate with her and you was letting her have her turn, then you get your turn to speak, and then she gets her turn to speak. All she would do is ranting nonsense. I was trying to listen to specific points there, like of it, but it's articulated well, with a deep message. None of it had substance. That was just a wild rant.